Welcome to Corn Coast Conversations. I am your host, the illest in Nebraska, HAKIM. I'm here to bring you all content from all angles of life as a father, recording artist, entrepreneur, and business owner. I'm here to spark conversations on various topics from politics, conspiracies, music, culture, and current events. So join me on this journey through the lens of my human experience from right here in the Corn Coast. I'm excited to have you all along for the marathon. Welcome to episode 2 of Corn Coast Conversations. This one's called Elevate Your Life. I would like to say it's pretty self-explanatory, but we're going to go ahead and go very in-depth. Again, this is going to be one of those episodes where you run back a few times. Definitely take some notes. And if you don't take some notes, try your best to take some mental notes. And let's go ahead and dive in. So, brief overview of this one. This episode is going to be improving personal development, the powers of habits, and a little bit about your mental health. For the first segment, we are going to talk about setting goals for success. We are going to discuss the importance of setting clear and achievable goals. One of the best tips for setting goals is a little acronym called SMART goals. SMART is going to stand for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. This is definitely going to be one of those segments that you want to jot down and take some notes. As I break down every letter and acronym, I highly advise you guys to run this video back a few times. Setting SMART goals is a life hack. It'll really help you think clearly and will change your perspective and your approach when you're attacking your goals and things that you want to accomplish in life. So the first letter in SMART goals is S. S is going to stand for specific. Guys, you're going to want to zero in and dial in on exactly what you're trying to accomplish. If your goal is a little bit too broad, you're likely going to miss your mark and have poor execution and fall short, get lazy, fall off the wheel. And ultimately, it's going to take you a lot longer to get to that goal that you're trying to accomplish. I would like to provide you all with a quick demonstration that will really help with being specific. It is the analogy of the laser versus the flashlight. You want to have your goals as finely focused as what a laser does. What a laser does is going to take light particles and hyper focus them and concentrate them into a very precise little beam right there. Okay, guys, that is exactly how you want your goals to be very concentrated into the laser. Versus, on the other hand, a flashlight. As you can see, the light is not concentrated. The light is very spread out and it's too broad. You want to have a very narrow path when it comes to your goals. The more narrow the path, the less bullshit involved, the better concentration, and the clearer the path is to see where exactly you are going. Having laser focus is going to have you think in a much clearer way. It's going to allow you to be much more precise, and you are not going to exhaust and waste a lot of energy and focusing and understanding where you need to be, how you need to get there, and where you will be heading. So again, are you going to be the laser? Are you going to be the flashlight? Always think of that analogy when you're thinking about the first letter in SMART goals, which stands for specific. The next letter that we are going to focus on in the word SMART is going to be measurable. I want to start with a quote. I forget the book that I learned it from, but I also would like to shout out Rob Dial on the podcast Mindset Mentor. I've listened to so many episodes to this day. very dope episodes, 20-minute, 15 to 20-minute episodes that I usually use to start my day that just provide me with some breadcrumbs to get through the day. So the quote goes, when performance is measured, performance improves. How I interpret that quote is when you're logging how you're performing through a course of time, you're going to hold yourself more accountable to make sure your performance is improving. When you're logging in and tracking where you're at, it's a lot easier to look at and stay on top of things when you're logging too many bad days, too many days that you were falling off the wheel, too many days that you're bullshitting yourself. It's a lot harder to write those in. And when you write those in and you're seeing that, it's easier to take note and see and take action on where you need to change course. So again, when performance is measured, performance improves. So these two charts right here, these charts really show what success really looks like versus what people think success looks like. On one hand, what people see success look like is the highlight reel of social media. That is one of social media's biggest toxic traits that a lot of people fall victim into. And I've been a victim myself. At times, I'm still a victim to this day. Seeing people live lives that just look incredibly successful, which at most times they probably are. But what we fail to understand is that nobody is posting their failures. Nobody is posting their trials and tribulations. Nobody is posting all the times that they hit rock bottom. And even when they do, it's when they have obtained their success already. So that is going to be one of the biggest obstacles for most people to get past, is understanding that what we see on social media and what we see on the internet might not always be what is reality. So always keep that in mind when you are finding yourself judging yourself and beating yourself up because your idea of success is not materializing in a way that you see other influencers, creators, or humans on the internet is transpiring to be. What success really looks like is it's a lot of lows. It's continuous growth over time. It's a turtle race. And a lot of the lows, a lot of the dips along the journey are going to provide all of the most valuable, important gems and breadcrumbs that you need in order to transcend into your next level of life. It's the lows is where you learn your lessons. That's where the character develops. That's where you become a little bit rougher around the edges. That's where the education occurs. That's where life happens. Those lows are where life happens. They're the most beautiful thing. In retrospect, I know while going through a lot of those lows, it's not going to feel that way. But any low that you have been through, any trial or tribulation that you have been through, and you're here today, we all can look back and say that that was one of the most pivotal or best things that ever happened to me, especially because we're still here and ultimately we learned from it. When you are measuring your performance improves. And not only that, when your performance improves, that gives you more confidence once you're seeing results. And that gives you a little bit of fuel to keep going and to go further and find your next peak. The next letter in SMART is going to be achievable. You want to make sure you are not spreading yourself too thin. And I say achievable in the sense that obviously never diminish or shrink or squeeze your goals into thinking that you can't accomplish things much larger than yourself. But make sure, again, take this with a grain of salt. Make sure you're being realistic in a frame of time. Give yourself enough time. Understand that you are learning along the way, and you are always going to have unforeseeable events and obstacles pop up along your way that are going to take a little bit of time to get over, get around, and ultimately it's just going to take you some time to figure it out. So I want to tell a little story that fits well with the achievable thing. And it was years ago when I was having my first child. So we're talking back in 2015, 16. And I was at a McDonald's waiting for my food. And I was sitting next to a gentleman, and he was eating some of his food. He was just having lunch by himself. And for whatever reason, he decided to look over and talk to me. And I can't remember what sparked the conversation, but we ended up getting on topic of me having a child, and I let him know, like, yep, it's my first child. I'm expecting one. And some of the best advice that still sticks with me today is little bites. And I said, what do you mean by that? He said, little bites. Take it by little bites. Take it day by day. If I give you a plate of food and I tell you to consume all of this food, some people are going to say, how am I going to do that? It's so much. I can't eat it all in one bite. That's correct. The only way to finish your meal is to consume bite by bite, bite after bite. So with that being said, metaphorically, any goal that you have that is within the realm of being achievable, everything is achievable, of course. But again, sometimes you got to think realistically, pull that kite string a little bit back down to earth, and take things bite to bite. When you're thinking about point A to point B, when you're thinking about point B to point A, most people are just thinking about point A, and you need to think about the journey to point A. And when you do that and you take it bite, you will soon look up and realize you're much closer to point A than just scrambling, trying to figure out how to get to point A without thinking about what the journey will be like getting there. So when you're thinking about getting from point B to point A, it can seem extremely overwhelming. But when you understand and accept what the progress and the journey will look like from point B to point A, it will be much less overwhelming, and you will have some peace of mind knowing that it's going to be a turtle race. The next thing you're going to want to do is make sure you write things down, review and reflect the things that you have written down and see where you're at, and take note of what's working and what isn't working. Ultimately, stay the course. The next letter in SMART is going to be R, and the R is going to stand for relevant. Your goals should align with the broader life objectives and values that you have in life. You need to ask yourself if achieving the goal is going to be meaningful for you, because I can assure you that if you're not accomplishing and chasing goals that align with your life's purpose or your values, it's going to be pretty unfulfilling. It's going to be a bucket that has a hole in it, and you're consistently filling it with water, wondering why the bucket is not staying halfway or staying full. So, yeah, make sure what you're chasing aligns with what you have going on in life. Make sure it aligns with who you want to be and how you want to live your life. It's okay to remove or recreate a goal that you feel no longer aligns with your life path. I've done it several times, and you just kind of know when you have a shift in paradigm on a conscious level, a spiritual level, or just with your career path in life, you'll kind of get burnt out. You will kind of lose a little bit of, you'll just kind of lose that spark for what you're doing. And you kind of start realizing as you grow, as you mature, your maturation no longer aligns with whatever goal you had in mind. You kind of outgrow it, and it is 100% okay to change course, correct course. It's not quitting all the time. So don't look at it as you are a quitter. There's a very fine line. Do not cheat yourself. You know when you're cheating yourself. Do not be a quitter, but it is okay to course correct. God damn. Oh, I didn't see you guys there. This commercial is brought to you by Honest and Sweet, one of the most authentic at-home bakeries there is out there. They hyper-focus on your health through clean ingredients. In fact, these treats are organic, plant-based, gluten-free, dairy-free, paleo, vegan, and most importantly, refined sugar-free, so you can treat yourself without guilt and a sugar crash. As a plant-based eater like myself, I can finally indulge in pastries and treats that will not cost me my health, and you all deserve that luxury as well. So go visit honestandsweet.com and place your order today. Oh, one last thing. If you use the discount code CCConvo10, you get 10% off. That one's on me. Big plant-based. Now let's get back to the episode. And finally, the letter T in SMART is going to stand for time bound. You need to make sure you are setting deadlines, and also make sure, this is very important, make sure to keep a to-do list. One thing I love about to-do lists is that it allows you to be pretty efficient with how your day is going to look like, and at the end of the day, feeling accomplished, like you got things done for the day. Because there is a difference between being busy and getting things done. You can be a busy person and at the end of the day, not truly accomplish much. But if you have a to-do list that is structured properly, even if you get 2 or 3 things out of your to-do list done, you will still feel accomplished. So when you're creating your to-do list, you want to make sure you are putting the top priority things near the top. That way, once you conquer those, it's like a snowball effect. You start your day, and once you gain that momentum and you knock out some of the heavier tasks on your to-do list, the next tasks under the ladder are just going to feel easier and easier and easier to accomplish. And before you know it, you have a substantial amount of momentum going for yourself. And at the end of the day, you're going to feel accomplished, and you will be accomplished, and you are going to be that much closer to your goals. So again, for your to-do list, write down your tasks in chronological order of most important to least important. And when you finish those most important things, you will have that sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. So again, your to-do list should be in chronological order of most important tasks down to the tasks that are not as important as the ones above the list. In return, that'll create a sense of urgency for yourself, and it'll help prioritize your tasks and help mold your plan of action. While we're on the topic of plan of action, it is very helpful to create an action plan. An action plan is going to help with the steps that'll take you to reach your goals. You can write down things like resources that you'll need, strategies, and ultimately just build a timeline that'll kind of just help you stay on course. They'll kind of act as like training wheels, if you will, that'll just keep you on your track versus just kind of shooting in the dark and just kind of aimlessly burning energy and not being efficient. Again, you can be very much like a laser when you have an action plan in place. Lastly, for the time bound, be prepared and have a mindset to adjust. that'll help you stay on your toes and stay focused. It'll help you stay less discouraged when you're faced and greeted by obstacles and some tribulations. So yeah, be prepared to have a mindset to adjust. Things almost 100% never happen exactly how you hope them to. Speaking on personal experiences, be ready to face those obstacles and be versatile. Face adversity with confidence. Again, as we said, laser versus the flashlight. When you are focused and concentrated like a laser, you will be able to handle tribulations and obstacles with much more confidence, and it's not going to be overwhelming when you're greeted with something that is potentially going to knock you off course. To finish up segment 1, I am going to end it with a quote. Not really so much a quote, but I'm going to end it by saying it always needs to be discipline over motivation. The reason being is that motivation is a fleeting emotion, and oftentimes you're quite frankly going to wake up unmotivated. And the thing that is going to get you through is going to be the discipline. See, discipline, unlike motivation, once you establish discipline with yourself, you are not going to rely on motivation, and motivation will just be there as a little bit of umph, if you will. When you have discipline and you have signed these contracts for yourself saying that you're going to do this X amount a week, you're going to eat this type of food, you're going to stick to this type of diet, you're going to do what you said that you were going to do. It's the discipline that is going to keep you on course. I say it all the time. I've gotten to where I've gotten in life purely from discipline, and I've seen what happened to my peers that didn't establish discipline. Guys, discipline is going to be the most important thing that that is going to get you there. Discipline is going to be the thing that gets you in the gym. Discipline is going to be the thing that gets you to eat right. When you sign that contract with yourself, you understand that there is no excuse and there is no way out. So essentially, sign that 360 deal with yourself and stick to it. Treat your discipline like it is death row records. Once you sign that contract with yourself, there's no way out. No excuses, no bullshitting yourself. You are in it to win it. You are in it for the things that you said that you wanted to gain. You are in it for the things that you said that you wanted out of life. So don't go back on your word. Don't bullshit and get it. Discipline, discipline, discipline. I'm going to say it 3 more times. Discipline, discipline, discipline. Segment 2, this one is going to be about building healthy habits. One thing you want to do is start small. Begin with manageable changes rather than something that's like super overwhelming, that won't have a ton of big shifts. For example, if you want to exercise regularly, start with just 10 minutes a day. Start your day with small wins. Make your bed. Knock out some push-ups before you start your day. When you start your day with small wins, it kind of creates that snowball effect. It just makes your next task a little bit more achievable. So just start small. Start with small wins. Start your day with small wins. I prefer making my bed, knocking out some push-ups as soon as I'm up. That kind of gets me going. It kind of puts me in a better mindset for the next task. The next thing you want to do is create a routine. Incorporate new habits into your daily routine. Associate new habits with existing ones. So it's called habit stacking. If you already had an established habit, add that new habit right after that one. So again, it kind of creates that momentum for you. And once you're stacking habits, you have this momentum that is hard to stop. So for example, do some stretches after you brush your teeth, or in the opposite direction, brush your teeth before you stretch in the morning. That'll just help reinforce new habits and also kick the old habits that you're trying to execute out of your daily routine. The next one, of course, this is very important. You want to hold yourself accountable. One helpful thing is share your goals with your friends or family, or find a buddy to join you in your healthy habits. When you share your goals with other people, it's easier for them to hold you accountable, because you don't want to be that person that goes back on your word and you become that friend that, like, yeah, I'm about to start working out, I'm about to start doing XYZ. And then a week later, your friend that holds you accountable is, checking for you. Hey, bro, I thought you was working out. I thought that you was going to start your new diet. And you're just not going to be feeling great after saying repeatedly times that you're going to make some changes and you never stand on your word. Don't be that person. So please hold yourself accountable. And again, tell others about your goals that you are comfortable with on a spiritual level, without making you feel like shit for not accomplishing certain things that you're trying to get after. Even after you tell your friends, your family, your significant other, ultimately it's a lonely road. Mental health and self-development is one of the hardest things to work on. You're training new muscles. It is mental exercise. You are unlearning and reprogramming and learning just new things. And most of the time, you're not going to have a mentor or somebody that guides you in life. That is why I'm here, funny enough. But on a serious note, yeah, it's a lonely road. It's one of the toughest things that I can say I do on a daily basis, and there's no finish line for it. It is a lifelong commitment to your mental health. It gets easier, but it's never going to be easy, if that makes sense. It's something that you will just always have to work on, and it's always going to kind of feel like you continuously move the goalposts, but that's how it's supposed to feel like when you are on a path of evolution and you always see what the better version of yourself looks like tomorrow. Another good thing that is going to help is to focus on the benefits. So constantly remind yourself of the positive outcomes of your new habits, whether it's feeling more energetic, improving your health, or enhancing your mood. Just constantly remind yourself why you're doing it, and just see what that version of you looks like if you stick to the things that you said that you were going to stick to. Keep that person, that future you, keep that future you in mind, and focus on that. It makes going through the journey a little bit easier. Lastly, one of the things that you're going to want to do is limit temptations. So it's important to identify and reduce exposure to the triggers that lead you to unhealthy behaviors. For example, if you're trying to eat less junk food, avoid keeping it at your crib. Keep the bullshit out of your pantries. Keep it out of reach. That makes it a lot more strenuous to go out the way to commit a bad habit for yourself. So once you remove all of the BS in your life, it's going to be a lot harder to incorporate that back into your life. Make sure you create an environment like water. The least amount of resistance will allow you to reinforce positive habits in order for you to be in a free flow state. Be patient. This doesn't happen overnight. Building new habits takes time. Research suggests that it can take anywhere from a few weeks to several months for a behavior to be reinforced and to become an automatic thing in your life. They say it can take an average of about 66 days for a new habit to become automatic. So be patient and understand that it's going to take some time. To end segment 2, I'm going to provide you with another quote that I live by, that anybody close to me hears this often. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And I stand behind that. And that one I would like to say is pretty self-explanatory. But again, if you're working out and you always don't finish the set, you're supposed to do 10 reps and you're at rep 8 and you just never finish, that is going to translate to a lot of things in life. And you are going to become a person that never finishes strong. You never finish. You always crap out early. You never reach your goal. I'm a firm believer in how you do one thing is how you do everything. So be very mindful of even the smallest tasks, because they will compound, and eventually you will be somebody that is going to be very hard to change, because through a course of years, you've compounded bad habits that are going to be incredibly hard to unlearn and remove from your programming. God damn. Oh, I didn't see you guys there. This commercial is brought to you by Honest and Sweet, one of the most authentic at-home bakeries there is out there. They hyper-focus on your health through clean ingredients. In fact, these treats are organic, plant-based, gluten-free, dairy-free, paleo, vegan, and most importantly, refined sugar-free, so you can treat yourself without guilt and a sugar crash. As a plant-based eater like myself, I can finally indulge in pastries and treats that will not cost me my health, and you all deserve that luxury as well. So go visit honestandsweet.com and place your order today. Oh, one last thing. If you use the discount code CCConvo10, you get 10% off. That one's on me. Big plant-based. Now let's get back to the episode. So a few strategies that help cultivate a positive growth mindset. Embrace challenges, try new things that stretch your abilities, starting with small steps. Learn from your feedback. View criticism with a chance to improve. Ask questions to understand it better. It's hard to accept criticism when you come from a background of putting a very defensive wall up, me being one of those people. So accept criticism and accept feedback through a perspective outside of your own. It's a lot harder to accept feedback when you're viewing it as somebody attacking you. That's not going to be the case all the time, though it will happen, but take it with a grain of salt. Understand the root of what they're maybe saying, or the root of the feedback that they're trying to provide from you, and just go from there. Another thing is celebrate your effort, acknowledge your hard work regardless of the outcome. Even if you fall a little bit short and you know that you gave it all that you could give, acknowledge your effort. Do not beat yourself up. It's all right to pat yourself on the back. Surround yourself with positivity. Spend time with people who inspire and support your growth. People are either going to be vacuums or chargers. So what I mean by that is people are either going to suck you from your energy, pause, or they are going to energize you. You're going to have conversations with people that are batteries, and they feel you are going to have conversations with people that are batteries, and you will feel a sense of rejuvenation, a sense of more energy after a fruitful conversation with them. And then lastly, practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when you make mistakes. Remember, everyone learns from their failures. I kind of always see it as like, it's you raising a child version of yourself. You know the person that you're trying to be, and the lower vibrational you is going to be the child in a sense. So be patient with yourself. This is how I see it in my mind when I'm kind of battling with my mind. You're either operating from the higher level you or the lower level consciousness of yourself, and you know which one is behind the wheel. So be patient with yourself. Take a step back and understand if you need to respond with the higher level you or the lower level you. All right. We have made it to segment 4. This one is going to be about self-care and wellness. Understanding that you are going to have a relatively busy schedule, it's important to prioritize self-care within that schedule. So one of the best things, just like your goals, schedule it. Treat self-care like any important appointment. Block out time in your calendar for it. Whether it's activities that nourish you, exercise, reading, relaxation, whatever provides you with some release in life, release from stress, relief from anxiety, or just something that allows you to calm the waters in your mind. Schedule it. Make time for yourself. Another thing you're going to want to do is set boundaries. Learn to say no to commitments that drain your energy. Protect your time and prioritize activities that fulfill you. Trust me, it is okay to say no to hanging out with people or meetings or anything of that nature that is going to strip you of your energy. It is all right to reschedule when you are in a better headspace. It's okay to cancel. Another very important thing is you're going to want to limit your screen time, reduce time that you spend on social media and time that you spend watching TV. Instead, fill those cups with activities that promote relaxation, activities that promote growth. Again, replace the bad with the good. Practice mindfulness, whether that is meditation. Just incorporate mindful practices like deep breathing into your day. That shit is super important, even if it's for a few minutes. Just going outside, taking a breath, touching grass, getting some sunlight on your skin, and just being present in the moment. That'll do wonders for you, and it will help lower levels of stress, anxiety, and it'll help you kind of get back to ground level. You're also going to want to stay organized and prioritize your sleep. Staying organized is going to keep, again, your to-do list. Is going to help you manage your tasks effectively. It's going to help find pockets for your self-care. So when you're organized and you're on schedule and you're efficient, you're going to be able to make time for yourself and your self-care. When you're not, again, you're going to be all over the place, unscheduled, unorganized, and it's just going to be really chaotic and hard to find time for yourself. As far as sleep, make sure you're getting enough rest. Everybody is different. I myself like to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. I do not function well less than that, and I do not need more than that. Quality sleep is super important for your physical and mental health. So definitely prioritize that in your schedule. You're going to want to incorporate movement. Again, go outside, get some fresh air. Stretching is super important. I love to stretch in the morning as well as at night right before bed. Stretching just does something different. Even if you're not completely exercising all the time, start with stretching. Stretching is super important. It just relaxes you. It helps move blood around your body, and it just helps with circulating your energy. In the most simplified term I could use, stretch. Stretching is important. Practice gratitude. Take moments each day to reflect on how far you came, where you're at, and where you are heading. Engage in hobbies that you like to do, whether it's painting, gardening, or playing an instrument, or playing some video games. Hobbies can be a great way to unwind. Whatever hobby that works best for you, make some time out of your schedule. Do not over abuse that. It can be very easily done because it's things that you love to do. So keep it at a minimal, but also, again, make time for it, whether it's daily, whether you reward yourself at the end of the week or after an increment of days. Definitely find the hobby that you just enjoy to do that's not damaging, that's not going to damage your progress in life. Find time for that and do those things. So, in summary, when you practice self-care, you feel good and you're more likely to pursue personal growth and take on new challenges. So in conclusion, to recap this episode on how to elevate your life, some key takeaways are going to be, again, set those SMART goals for the SMART method. So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. Remember, discipline over motivation. Build healthy habits. Work towards mindset mastery. It is a lifelong turtle race. It is a marathon. There is no finish line. You will continuously move your goalposts as you find ways on how you can be a better human for yourself and for the world. Remember, practice self-care and find time in your schedule to cater to yourself and focus on your well-being and your wellness. To finish off this episode, I'm going to suggest 2 books to go along with this episode about elevating your life. The first one is going to be called Do It Today by Darius Foreau. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Please excuse me if I'm jacking up your last name. This book right here is a very good read, especially for beginners that are not familiar with reading all the time. It is a good short read, very doable, very accomplishable, and it'll also give you some confidence if you're not a book reader. This book, it's just about the importance of doing it today. Do not procrastinate. Just get the job done. Wake up, build that to-do list, and do it today. So shout out to Darius for this book. Great read right here. The next one is just a little bit longer, a little bit lengthier. This one's going to be called Atomic Habits. This one is by James Clear. The Atomic Habits is where I learned about the habit stacking. It's something that I subconsciously was doing already, but when I learned why I was doing it and how I was doing it, it allowed me to understand it a little better and allowed me to be more efficient and allow me to build on top of the habits that I already have established for myself. And it allowed me to sharpen the blade in which I use to attack and conquer the day. So again, Atomic Habits by James Clear and Do It Today by Darius Foreau. Again, excuse me if I'm messing up your last name. These 2 books right here will definitely aid you in elevating your life. I hope you all enjoyed today's episode on how you can elevate your life. I pray I provided you all with some key takeaways and some gems that you can walk away with in return for you to elevate your life. If you got any value from this episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. My name is Hakeem. This is Corn Coast Conversations. I look forward to seeing you all on the next episode. Peace.